thank EJ and Tara. EJ, you're a master of GIS, so I appreciate your work on that. And this is exciting for me because this is, I think, from trying to make policy decisions in what I do at Lake County, I think this is going to be very helpful. We do have a special guest, an honorable guest that I'd like to recognize. Ms. Shelley Lawton, I think, is in the audience. She's here. So,
wow.
Yeah, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for doing this.
Well, we appreciate it. We appreciate your hard work on this for years, so thank you. The discussion is open now on this, and yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. If I could, I guess I'd like to say thanks, of course, to Shirley, but Hugh and Lee and David, some of myself were here when this started in 2006 and 7. And many times we start a project and forecast it and then disappear and never really come back to look at it and say, well, was it accurate? Did we know? Shirley, thank you for what you did. And this is really revealing because it was right on target for much of the stuff. So it's really worthwhile. Thank you. I know this is your brainchild when you started about it 2-3 years ago. Say, well, that's what we ought to do. I don't know how you got the support for it, but thank you.
And so again, the discussion kind of starts today where we aren't going to take action on this because we felt like putting it on the agenda and then, you know, without having a presentation and trying to have some action on that wouldn't be the right thing to do. So there'll be some action on this at some point. Mike, correct on that?
Yeah. Yes, we hope, our goal is then to bring it back to you in January to actually adopt it so you have a lot more ownership of the report and the process moving forward. So if you have any comments on the report, definitely let us know. But yeah, so the goal is adopt it in January and then using your platforms and your to help us move this out. My goal is to get at least 2,000 people to take the survey. I've been told less, but I would love more, especially since we just did a survey in Winter Springs and they had 1,200 people respond. So, 5,000 would be great.
Well, there's a lot of great elected officials in the room that if they just push it a little bit, even just somewhat, we could get that number for sure. And that's the more statistically valid in a sense, the more people you get.
We definitely want to make sure that we're getting input from all of the jurisdictions. And one of the things that I know PJ talked about in the presentation was that we did include some Germarian in the report. And obviously they were not in the How Shall We Grow process, but we did include them as now they are members of our region. So.
Also, just kind of let the report marinate a little bit. If you have any specific statistics or types of statistics that you think we're missing, we could always add that before the survey process kind of finalizes as well.
Yes, sir.
Well, I think that one of the things that would be beneficial to all of the counties and the cities, and I think we talked about this before, is an overlay of the various zoning and comp plans, especially where it comes to the hot spots, where without the development of regional impact process any longer, many of us are up against one another when we are growing in a certain area of a county and it will affect another county. And so to put that into this report, show especially at the borders where the potential conflicts or development that might affect other counties would be. I know that we in Orange County have had a similar problem right now in the East Orange, East Seminole area. I know that Lake County had some things that they had concerns about in the past. So there's hot spots. And there are areas that will affect another jurisdiction's taxpayers that will have to pay for the growth somewhere else. And so I think that's very important that we identify those areas and make them, give all of us the opportunity to look at it and what the comp plans of those hot spots are.
So we could do a conflicting land use analysis along the borders, and we could also look at where development is occurring in one county more recently as opposed to no development occurring right across the border. So
That's a great idea. Good comment. So we could put that in the survey then? Okay. In the report. Good point. Yes, ma'am.
And maybe I missed this, so forgive me, but we're going through the process of survey, and then at the end, we have all the data, and we're going to do what with it? What's the plan?
So currently, our plan is, we're gonna take all the information, we're gonna do a findings report, then we can bring it through all the jurisdictions in the counties. But then the question is, how will all of you respond as far as local jurisdictions? And that's why I bring up the question of, okay, great, is this, as a regional planning council, are we gonna set new priorities for the region? Or is it gonna be filtered down into the local jurisdictions to reevaluate their priorities and their ways of doing things? Or is everything great and we're completely on track? So, you know, we definitely need to have a conversation at the regional planning council board as far as how that plays into what our strategy is in the direction of our council. But then how does it filter down to all of you? If you have someone come up and say, okay, Seminole, this is what you have, what are you gonna do with it? You know, that has to be a discussion.
Well, and I'll defer to Shelley, since she's in the room, because How Shall We Grow was an amazing process. While I wasn't elected at the time, I was involved in local government, I remember it vividly. And it was quite a feat. But we knew when we started what the goal was going to be at the end, what the product was going to be, and what the ultimate. We didn't know the outcome, but we knew what we planned to do with the information we would get. There was a comprehensive, everybody's sitting around the table, everybody's in because we want to do this with the information that is provided. And I'd love for us to be able to get that going sooner, rather than later, from my perspective. Can we ask Shelley to give us some insight on how that?
Absolutely, and we'd be honored, sure.
Well, I have been fortunate enough to Kara brought me in as we started looking at this whole issue, and staff has just done, first of all, let me say, just an incredible job. And Commissioner, I think when we started, it was about creating a collective shared vision of businesses, government, nonprofit organizations. I think this is just an extenuation of it. Okay, so here's the shared vision. How well did you do it? How are now we going to take a shared vision to the next level? Are we there yet? I do think I get asked daily from reporters, from people in the media, whatever happened to that? How shall we grow? How are we doing? So I think this is going to be huge news for our community. I think people are very interested in when you read through it. We've done pretty well in some areas and not so well in others. So I think especially for this group, it gives you some great platforms to say, what are we going to do about water consumption? We're not there yet. What are we going to do about infill? We're not there yet. What should we be doing? To me, oh my gosh, this is a leadership exercise. And this is a group that I think can take it to the next level, out back to the community and say, wow, look how far we've come in these areas. Yay, look how far we have to come in. And we missed some things. Somebody brought it up earlier, housing. Really, it wasn't in there back in, we didn't have a housing problem in 2006, 2007. We have a housing problem now. So how do we start using this as a platform for some of the issues that are moving forward? And I just applaud you all. I think it's a great opportunity to continue to manage growth in a really powerful way based on that.
Thank you. And well said. Any questions, comments?
So, therefore, we will bring it back on the consent agenda in January, and then we'll release the survey in January, and we will also be providing blurbs, flyers, everything that anyone can take and spam it out through various social media, meetings that you go to in order to get the word out. We'll provide all of that to you. And then we'll probably have the survey out for at least 2 months, depending upon where we are, and then we'll go from there.
And then, so again, the Commissioner, I think that concurrently, that discussion can happen at the same time.
Yeah, I think that would be great, because especially if we're gonna have the survey be open for 2 months, waiting for data, that, I would love to capitalize on that time and have us determine what it is by the time we close the survey, what we're gonna do with it.
Exactly, okay, so we will make, we'll make sure that that's on the agenda for the January meeting, that we're gonna have that discussion as well to address that question, and have that concurrently. And do it before we take the final action. Appreciate it.